Alright, so the sprayer is finished. Finally done, got all the wiring done, got all the plumbing all finished up. Basically what I got is there's a bus bar up here underneath the hood. Side by side, I got it all marked out. So I know this goes to the sprayer, and then the other one I got marked underneath the rocker switch for bus, and then the other one for sprayer. And then under here, just so I know what's what, because there's a lot of wiring all over the place. I'm not all good with that kind of stuff, but it worked out good. Everything's nice and clean, zip tied, and I got it hooked up. I had a problem hooking it up here because this is your main source that's always hot coming off this block, and if you had it hooked up here and then your ground here, that wiring is hot all the time, which means as soon as you hook up your sprayer, it's running. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to hook it up to a rocker switch and then have it only work if the key is on. That way you don't accidentally bump your rocker switch and your rocker switch is on, and then you kill your battery. And I didn't want to do that, drive 4 or 5 hours wherever you're going to do your spraying, and you find out your battery's dead and you're dead in the water. So I got it hooked up to the high side here of this this bus bar, and this runs off the ignition. So I don't know if all side-by-sides are like that, but mine is. So this top one here is coming off the ignition. This is your power supply. This is always hot, and then here's your grounds here. There's also another supply with fuses and everything underneath the seat, but I didn't want to clutter that all up. And so I did that, and then I wired in a 20 amp inline fuse right here, and that comes right off the bus, and that goes to the sprayer. So whenever you kick that on, and if you got a bad ground or whatever it is, whatever blows that fuse is right here, and it's a waterproof casing. So for $2 I got that from the store, and then all the wiring and everything I had here. Actually what I used, all this is extension cord. You could go and buy wire and all that from the hardware store or from the auto supply store, but you're gonna spend $20 for a roll, and you need the black, you need white or red, whatever you're gonna use. And heck, if you got an old extension cord, it's actually bigger wire, not than all of it, but that's what I ended up using, and it works great. So anyway, I got it all hooked up into there, and then coming inside the cab here, here's my rocker switch. So when the key's on, you flip that rocker switch and your pump's gonna run, but only if the key is on, and that's what I wanted. So then the wiring for the pump, when I want to run the pump, I got the wiring underneath here. I just pull out the wire like that, and it'll hook right up to your pump. So for the pump, what I did was mounted the pump on there, got the wiring all hooked up, and I made this little apparatus here for the hose, because I came off the pump with a splitter, and one is my hose with a shutoff, and the other one has a shutoff, and that goes to the sprayer. So if you don't want to use the sprayer, you just turn that off and turn your hose on. And it was hard to find hoses. I actually just ended up using heater hose. All I'm going to run out of here is either water or like a fertilizer. I'm not going to run any pesticides or anything like that out of this, so it's just water or fertilizer, and that's it. So I ended up just using the heater hose. It was cheaper than buying a hose you're gonna kink. So garden hoses kink all the time. This stuff is a lot harder to kink, and it's gonna stay more rigid. And then over here I changed it up a little bit. I did have this 90 going down, and I was gonna have a hose running around and go to the tank. And it was just, I didn't want to be driving through the field and it catch on anything, so I ended up cutting that off, and I turned my 90 going up so I could hook my hose right to that. So when I unhook the hose when I'm done or when I'm not using it, that comes off. It stays on to my my little apparatus on the back here with the sprayers. And then for the hose, the hose stays on for the hand sprayer, and you just wind it up right there on that little. All that is a piece of conduit with a real thick shrink tube on there, and bolted on with silicone on it, and that's really it. And then the hose that comes from the pump, it comes down here to the drain. The only thing I don't have is a shut off. I like to put a shut off down here so I could take this off, and any residual water, whatever you have in there, you could drain out. So I haven't done that yet, but I plan on putting a shut off valve here. On the inside, this rises about 2 inches above the bottom. So what I ended up doing was I took a piece of heater hose, and yeah, I cut my finger. Wife's gonna kill me. So anyway, on the inside, I hook a heater hose up to that when it's got the natural bend going down, and I cut the hose on the end at a 45. So I went ahead and I put, I don't know, 8 gallons of water in here or so. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on and show you how it works. Hopefully it works. It worked the other day. I just didn't have all the wiring and all that hooked up yet. So basically you turn the key on, and over here I gotta hook up the wiring. Sorry, I don't have anything to hold my phone, so that's hooked up. Alright, so the pump is hooked up, the key is on. I'm gonna go ahead and flip my rocker switch here. Actually, I'm going to turn this on. Turn on my, if I could turn it. Turn on the sprayers. I got the hose off. So now I'm going to go ahead and flip my rocker switch. It's running. And there she goes. She's spraying. I know the sun's bright, so it's going to be hard to see, but you can see the pattern coming out of there. Pattern's real good. Got a nice wide pattern. It comes out about 4 feet from each side. A little 4 feet further on each side from the side by side. And that's doing good. I'll go ahead and show you the hose. So I'm going to turn the hose on. I'm going to shut the sprayer off. Get all the air out of the line. And that thing works great. About 20 feet or so it sprays. And that's pretty good. I like that. So it works real nice. And that's it. That's the whole setup. And I'm done. I'm finished with it. It's spraying real good. The pump is an on-demand pump, so it only runs when you're pushing water through there. So I'll go ahead and turn the sprayers back on.